Welcome to the vimtutor. This is a command that's available to you on the command line. When you install Vim, it is available to you this command called the vimtutor. All you have to do is type the command vimtutor, all one word, and it will pop open Vim, the text editor. That's what it is. It's a text. I assume that if you're here watching this video, you kind of already know what Vim is. It's a text editor built for the terminal window. There are various flavors, including NeoVim and some other code editors that allow you to use Vim key commands to navigate throughout the document. What is so great about Vim is it lets you just use your keyboard directly to jump around and edit your code with ease and speed. It's universally available on all Linux systems and Unix systems. It should be pre-installed on your system if you have a Mac, and it's pretty easy to install no matter where you are. Let's actually get started. Let's walk through what the vimtutor is. I've got this here on my screen. So all you have to do is type vimtutor on your terminal window, and you will be able to pop open the vimtutor. And it's really just a text file is all it is. It seems like once you get into it, it's going to be like this really cool interactive tutorial. It's just a text file. So let's jump in. So Vim is a very powerful editor that has many commands. Too many to explain in this Oh yeah, all right, so there's a lot to explain. The tutorial that we're going to go through here is just the basics. Let's get started using Vim. This tutor is designed to describe enough of the commands that you'll be able to easily use Vim as an all-purpose editor. Excellent, that's what we want. The approximate time required to complete this tutor is 30 minutes, depending on how much time it is spent with experimentation, because you can play around with the keystrokes a whole bunch. So there are some commands in this lesson that will modify the text. Make sure to make a copy of this file to practice on, which is what I did. I was able to make a copy of this. Before you start vimtutor. Okay, so it is important to remember. Don't worry if you mess it up. It's actually fine. I think it just rewrites this. Probably fine. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. So it is important to remember that this tutor is set up to teach you how to use Vim. That means that you need to execute the commands to learn them properly. If you only read the text, you are going to forget the commands. So you need to actually use the commands that it's talking about. That's what it's saying here. Now make sure that you're not using caps lock key. If you do, that's going to cause some problems. So make sure you don't have that depressed. The J key is enough. All you need to know is the J key, and the J key basically just brings the cursor down. So that's what the J key does. If you're using the J key, you'll be able to read this document just fine. That's all you need. J key, perfect. So now let's see, where are we at? Is enough to move the cursor to complete the first screen of the lesson. All right, let's move to lesson 1.1. Let's see what we have here. All right, lesson 1.1 is moving the cursor around. It seems like the easiest thing. The good news is Vim does support the arrow keys. You can use the arrow keys to move around. So that's kind of a nice crutch. What they want you to do is use J, K, L, and H. So they want you to use these cursors here. So something like that. Use these cursors, these keystrokes. So J, K, and H. So see, J will move the cursor down. K moves the cursor up. H moves it left, and H moves it right, sorry, and then L moves it left. Or wait, the L key moves it right, and the H key moves it. It's hard. It's just becomes, after you use Vim for so many years, you just kind of get used to it. You don't really think about it. It just becomes a natural movement. So move the cursor, hold down J or any of these other letters to move the cursor more rapidly. And if you did something in a whoopsie and you're not sure about what you did, you can press escape. You just tap the escape key. The escape key is probably one of the most common keys other than the cursor movement keys that you'll be using. It is used to sort of return normal mode or just text navigation mode. So make sure to be aware of that. And also note that cursor keys should also work. Right. So these are the cursor keys, right? The arrow keys. So you can use those to move around as well. And that is all you need to know to get Vim up and running is just the text, the cursor navigation. Vim text editor lesson 1.2. We're going to learn how to escape, how to leave the program. It is the second lesson overall in lesson 1, how to exit Vim, and it turns out it can be kind of tricky. So you can get stuck if you don't know how to exit Vim. It won't let you. There's no escape unless you know how to do it. So check this out. You would think that the escape key might help you there, but it doesn't. So it only helps you a little bit, and it is sometimes required. Let's get started. Before executing any of these steps below, read this entire lesson. Let's do that really quick. Let's follow the instructions. Press the escape key. That's step 1. And when I usually do this, I press the escape key like a whole bunch of times. I go escape. I like to tap it a few times, just in case you might need to do it. Usually you only need to do it once. I sometimes miss it, so I press escape a few times before I move on to the next step. Step 2, type the following: Q exclamation point. You can see here at the bottom of the screen that it's kind of, I don't know if you can barely see it here, far left bottom corner of the screen. Q exclamation. This, and then you press enter to execute the command. This exits the editor, discarding any changes that you made. The exclamation point says quit without any warning. The Q says quit. So if you have unsaved changes and you type just Q, it'll say, hey, you didn't save anything, and so you're still stuck. You need to have the exclamation point to really leave. Or you can save the file and then quit, though. That's extra. Get back here to the vimtutor from your command line. Just type in vimtutor and press enter. That will get you back into the vimtutor lesson. So that's all you have to do. Then if you have these steps memorized, step 1 to 3, then go ahead and execute them. Note that the command Q exclamation point enter discards any changes you've made. In a few lessons, you'll learn how to save the file changes. Right now, we're not going to. All right, let's try it. Q exclamation point return. We did it. We left Vim. We exited. That's a lot to exit. Vim text editor lesson 1.3. We're going to learn how to delete text in the document. We'll learn. It looks like we're going to learn the X key, the X character. What the X character does is it lets you delete a character. So if you press X on your keyboard, just press the X key right here. It'll let you delete any single character. And it says here, press X to delete the character under the cursor. So you can see I've got this nice little cursor that's sort of jumping around the screen here. Wherever the cursor ends up landing, if you press X, that will delete the character. And you can hold it down to delete a whole bunch more. What is actually the instructions? What are those instructions? I just deleted some instructions. It says move the cursor to the line below, marked with this arrow business here, which would be this. Okay, so we can see here there are a whole bunch of typos, some extra character strokes. It says fix the errors, move the cursor until it is on the top of the character to be deleted. Press the X key to delete the unwanted character. Repeat steps 2 to 4 until the sentence is correct. Let's do it. All right. The cow jumped over the moon. There, done. Corrected. Vim is so powerful and so quick. That's why I love using this text editor. It's just super easy and a lot of fun. I equate it to the days when I was driving manual transmission on a vehicle compared to automatic transmission. You have more control over all in the vehicle. Yeah, sure, the automatic transmissions can be basically faster than humans would. It's just not as fun. You got to be doing more. It's great. In this case, with a text editor, Vim actually does let you move quicker, though it's not important. It really isn't. You spend 10% of your day at most actually typing on the keyboard. As a software engineer, if you're using the Vim editor, 10% of your day, you can't really optimize that too much by having a faster code editor. You just have better happiness. You get better happiness, and I think that's a huge part to the software engineering role. If you have better happiness in your day, you'll have a better life in general, and that's kind of nice because you got to take the wins where they're at. So here we go. Now that the line is correct, go to lesson 1.4. Oh, we did it. We completed lesson 1.3. Here's one last note. It's important here at the bottom as you go through this tutor. Do not try to memorize, just learn by using. So it's going to force you, all these lessons are going to force you to actually use the command, use the X key here, for example. They want you to do that. If you do that, it will help you along the way. And this is important. You memorize things through sort of emotional activity. Those are the things that you remember permanently, that live with you for the rest of your life. And so you have to learn by doing and to learn through a struggle. And that will be a permanent memory that will live with you for the rest of your life. All right, we're on lesson 1.4 of the Vim tutor. We're going to learn how to insert text. We're actually using a text editor now, finally, at lesson 1.4 to actually write text. It's like, you would think that this would be something that you would immediately be able to do at the very beginning. It's maybe lesson 1, though it turns out because you only get to use your keyboard for this entire process, you have to learn a few extra things first before you even get into text editing or insertion, so adding texts. So press I to go into insert mode, which allows you to start typing. Move the cursor, so we're going to be instructed here again to move the cursor to the lines marked with these arrow symbols, and that will be right around here. So we're going to have to do something with those lines. So we're going to learn by doing. To make the first line the same as the second, move the cursor on top of the character before, which is the text to be inserted. Okay, so they want us to match, they want us to basically reference this line here. This line right here has to be referenced, and we have to modify this line to match. So that makes sense. And so you're going to have to press I a whole bunch of times, and you're also going to have to press the escape button to go back into navigation mode. And that escape key is the most frequent key that you might be using from that perspective, other than the navigation characters. Each error is fixed. After each error is fixed, press escape to go to the normal mode. Repeat steps 2 to 4 to correct the sentence. All right, so here's my sentence that I have to match up. So all right, so I press the I, and then I sum escape text. M-I-S, no, uh-oh. I cheated. Well, here, I'm cheating, I'm not supposed to do a thing. Press the X key if you need to. So like, there, because we remembered it from the previous instructions. Missing escape from this escape line. There, we did it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that looks right. Now that we are comfortable with inserting text, we can move to lesson 1.5. All right, lesson 1.5, text editing. And this is the Vim tutor. We're going to learn how to append text. Appending text. Now, we learned in the previous lesson how to insert text, appending text. That kind of sounds like the same thing. And guess what? It is. It's exactly the same thing. It's just one little minor difference. I want to show you what this. So press A. In this case, it looks like a capital A, and that is an important aspect. Also, the lowercase a has an impact as well. Check this out. All right, I want you just to look at what's happening here. So I'm going to press to insert text. We learned in the previous lesson that you press the I character, the I character on your keyboard. So press I, and I've entered insert mode, and I can type whatever I want. I insert escape. Right. So then I typed out this extra data here. So move the cursor to the. But here's the deal. If you do, let's do the same thing here. So I pressed I, and I did, it inserted a whole bunch of text before where my cursor was. But if I press A, it moves it forward one, and all the text is. So this is very nuanced. You don't even need to really know this character to be successful in Vim. I never really use this. I do, however, definitely use capital A. So what capital A does is it moves your cursor all the way to the end of the line and enters you into insert mode. And so now you can type text here, press A, Shift A, right? And I can do it again, Shift A. So let's see what the instructions want us to do here really quick. Jumping around. Press Shift A and type the necessary additions. As the text has been appended, press escape to return to normal mode. Move the cursor to the second line and repeat steps 2 to 3. Okay. So let's follow the instructions. There's some text missing from Shift A this line, period. Escape. Okay. And then we got this next one over here. There's also some text missing here, period. Well, X. There we go. So we used Shift A to move the cursor to the end of the line and immediately goes into insert mode. We did it! We made it to the end of lesson 1 on vimtutor. Guess what? We're going to learn actually finally how to save a file. How do we save our progress? We learned how to edit text, insert text, delete text, and now we can learn how to save our edits. It's actually a pretty simple command. Let's follow the instructions. So what we're going to be doing here in lesson 1.6 is essentially editing a file. Is it going to take us through everything? I don't know. Let's find out. So we use :WQ to save a file and exit. W says write, and Q is going to be the quit, right? Quit command. So WQ. Colon is used to start the commands for you to typing. So you shift semicolon to enter command line mode. Before executing any of the following steps, read this entire lesson. If you have access to another terminal window, do the following here. Otherwise, exit this tutor. I don't know, but let's just keep going. At this shell prompt, type the following command. Oh, okay. I see what it's trying. It wants us to open up a text file. So in order to start Vim, you would type vim space file.txt, enter, for example. This would allow you to open up a file in Vim, and the Vim command to start the Vim editor, so you're editing the file.txt file. This is the name of the file you wish to edit. Use the name of the file that you want to change here. So now we can use what we've learned in the previous lessons to insert delete text, as we learned in previous lessons. Save the file with changes in Vim, :WQ, and then press enter. So that's basically it. If you have quit the Vim tutor in step 1, restart the Vim tutor and move down to the following summary. In this case, I'm just going to use the Vim tutor itself as the file that I'm editing. So I'm going to delete step 3. Well, here, I'll press the X key that we learned in previous lessons. And now we'll never know what step 3 is ever again. So now, I'm going to follow the command up here, :WQ to save the file. :WQ, and then boom, exit, done. Now I've saved the file and I've quit Vim. I edited it, I saved and quit Vim. We did it. We've successfully saved a file with Vim. It sounds like that should be a lot easier, and this is some of the just foundational basics that you need to learn with Vim. Once you get those down, then you get to incrementally learn all the other features that Vim has to offer, and you'll get just incrementally better over time, and you can do a lot of powerful things. The Vim tutor has a lot of lessons that we get to learn in the first jaunt of lessons. The lesson 1 summary is everything that you'll learn in the first lesson. Essentially, there's like 5 segments. You'll learn how to navigate left, right, up, down using H, J, K, and L on your keyboard. You'll also learn how to edit a file directly from the command line, your shell prompt, where you type vim space the file name that you're interested in, and you press enter to open up Vim with that text editor. You learn how to exit Vim. Make sure to press escape key a whole bunch of times. I like to press it more than once. Then you type :Q exclamation point, and that will let you exit Vim safely without saving any edits that you may have made. Or you can type :WQ to save all the changes you made and then also exit. You learn how to delete any single character by pressing the X key on your keyboard, and this will delete characters for you. And then to insert data, any kind of text, you use either I to insert data in front and then press escape, or Shift A, which takes you to the end of the line, and you can add some more text over there. Now press escape, and then you go back into normal mode. Pressing escape is the escape key is your friend, so definitely give that a shot. There's more lessons to learn, of course, and it gets more detailed and more complicated. So just beware, once you get started, you'll actually have only to really need to go through lesson 1 to get the most important foundations. And every single lesson that you learn, you'll learn just a little bit more over time.